Uh, Peace, reflections, and divine greetings to the chosen ones. I'm on my way to work. Again, gotta walk all the way from fucking here to there. You know what it is. Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna be talking about building a spiritual phone so that we can, you know, have full clarity about what ourselves is, because we're not just a self. You know, ourselves create the ego of the self. I'm not talking about ourselves meaning individual people, meaning for an individual person, you have multiple selves. We're gonna get into that. But first, yeah, I want to just say something real quick because, damn, I'm so slow. I didn't post the previous video yet, so now I only have 5 minutes on my other phone to record. And yeah, because this phone is stupid too. I don't know how much longer I have to record on this one, so it might just cut out. The video might just cut, just out the blue. But yeah, I'll work with it. Let's get into this. Okay, so I want to talk about your other selves first. So I'm not gonna go in order of how I wrote this down, which is another pet peeve of mine. Damn, can't hold this correctly because of the fucking wind. Boom, I found a solution. Alright, yeah, so your cells, right? Let's see where I wrote that. You have okay, it says learn the difference between your lower self, right? Your higher self and like your centered self, right? Which is like your balanced self, but that's the one that's on the surface level that we see the most. I mean, not really, because we're so scrambled and shifted outside of ourselves that we do see a balance in us, but we only get to see one version of ourselves at the time, type shit. So it's like we don't really get to see that balanced, centered self. We just see the surface self. And then you have angels, right? Like, even though these guys are on your team type shit, you're also created out of these guys, because like I said, we are energies, and energies are entities themselves. So we are energies, right? Meaning all of the elements in nature, all of those beings and deities that, like, are known for doing certain things that involve just existing. And that enough should be fucking, proof right there that these entities are part of us. And the cool part is, like, these entities, like, I don't know, whoever King of Jupiter is or whatever, like, the king of the sky and something else, right? Like, they're showing that we are still part of these elements in, you know, deep ways. So you have angels, demons, ancestors, uh, feminine and masculine energies, a light and dark energies. You have an inner child and an inner parent. So it's like, I want to say this inner parent could also be like, one of your spirit guides, of course, but like, you also have other spirit guides here to help you master other parts of self. Um, What? Creation energy that you create your being, that creates your being. I don't know, I wrote these things all fucked up because I don't got space on this little ass notepad. Um, yeah. So you just have to try and connect with these guys, right? Just remember that you are not yourself. You don't have a self. You don't exist. This is why we exist, but we don't exist at the same time type shit. This is why we are... I forgot what that word is. When you go against... When logic goes against itself. This is why we are that. Because... You know, like I said before, all of these energies align to help God create a being, for God to express and move the way that they want to move, so that they can create, you know, more inside of themselves type shit. Like I said, we are standing inside of ourselves. It's so cool. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about that phone now. I want to, so, yeah, I was just listing all of those different cells, but we're going to go back to those again and get deeper into that. But, you know, not too deep, because I still want y'all to go research yourselves. You know, I'm just giving you an introduction to some shit so you can, you know, at least know what the fuck people are talking about out here. But just because I'm giving you, just because I'm introducing you to this thing doesn't mean you have clarity over it. So you still have to go research for yourself. Speaking of clarity, let's talk about that phone. So you have clear thinking, right? You have the clear seeing. I'm not about to go... I apologize. I keep forgetting the names, the scientific names of them. But I guess that's just to help myself, you know, Tavion. Oh shit, that's in my name, whatever. Tyoshin. Just to help this little dude down here process this information. Because, you know, I'm not myself anymore. I stepped outside of myself. Like, literally. I can't really explain that because there's too much to explain. But yeah. So you have the clear thinking, seeing the emotions and sensations, right? That's like feelings. So there's two sides of feelings, sensations, and emotions. Well, there's probably multiple sides to feelings. Because I feel like, I don't know, it's probably just my knowing. Oh, let me just finish this real quick. Then you have clear hearing, clear smelling, and clear knowing. Okay, but that's why I was saying let me finish that, because it's probably just my knowing, my inner knowing, that all of our senses is just us picking up electrical impulses in different ways. Because remember, energy... Like, bro, energy is so cool. It could become anything at the same time type shit. Like, wow. Yes. Let me stay on track. Clear thinking, right? So there's a difference between clear knowing and clear thinking. Because that's why I was telling you guys the last time. My team, they don't give me their thoughts. It's like they help me form the thoughts, the way that they be thinking too. Because like the way that my thoughts be coming up to me is like, damn, I'm not even that kind of a kid, you know? I'm not even that kind of a dude. Come on now, why am I thinking like that? But yeah, so, and then clear knowing is just like, you already know, you know, about whatever you're trying to interact with or think about or whatever. That's why I just said interact with, because I'm about to list all that shit. But yeah, you already know about it type shit, without you having to go through a whole thinking process, without you having to, you know, feel and choose what, like how I said your thoughts form, like how you have to choose what kind of dialogue to build. That's for clear thinking. But for clear knowing, you can just skip past that and just instantly already be in tune with what's going on, basically, as if you've done this before, even if you haven't. And then clear smelling. So y'all know when y'all smell like copper and shit, or like other metals? Yeah. Like steel and silver and shit. And then you can even taste that. I forgot to put in clear tasting, but at least I said it type shit, so it don't matter. But yeah, I feel like there's something, because you can also sometimes smell random shit like flowers or like milk or honey and shit like that, and candy, because all of those things are trying to help guide you to have clarity, or just to help move your energy in a certain way so that you can be in a certain way so that you're prepared for whatever moment you're about to walk into. Like right now I just smelled some kind of like chamomile tea, so it just really calmed me down to walk over here. Oh man, I was supposed to meditate right here. Oh fuck, I'll try and remember on my way back from work. Yeah, cause bro, I'm gonna need all the energy I can get on this fucking walk there and back, bro. But I'm talking to y'all, so it's okay. I can thug it out. But yeah, I want to talk about meditation real quick, but I don't know how much time I got, so I'll make another video for that. But yeah, clear smelling and tasting and shit. So like for all the different metals, right? I feel like that's just like trying to give you a sense of something specific, right? Like how birds, right? When you see a bird, it usually represents the air element, which is in conjunction with. See, like these thoughts that be forming to me, like I'm channeling shit right now, because I don't even truly know what that word means to be using that. Because again, when we hear words, this is how self-taught we are. Like just because of the context that it was used in, we already know what the word means. But still, I'm not about to think too deeply about what that word means to try and even use it. But yeah, so it's just like the wind element is also it also represents the mind, right? And how the mind works. But then you also have things like different fucking birds, right? Oh, and just like the cats too. Like the different colored cats. Like a cat means spiritual protection, right? Meaning it's going to protect an energy spiritually. But then the different colored cat is what energy it's protecting or holding, right? Because when I hear protection, I also think about holding. Also, we gotta really think outside the fucking box when we hear shit in language and symbols and like how basically they created shit, because the words, not the words, the numbers, like how 0 is like a circle and it's just basically supposed to be like a ball of possibilities, right? And then the 1 is the line, right? The masculine, and then 9 is the feminine. But then 9 also is a spiral, a Fibonacci, right? And that shows that, the completion, that everything, you can't go past what's already fucking here type shit. And everything is already here. That's why I said, when we think about shit, all we're doing is just bringing these thoughts to our being. So like we're not even really thinking about it. We're just paying attention to these thoughts, and the more that we pay attention to them, that's the stronger that they manifest, not just as a thought but as a tangible thing. Because even a thought is still like it forming into this material realm, because when it got here, that it got into your being as potential energy, as a thought. So then, however that thought turns into kinetic energy, right, is when it will manifest. Meaning, like, if I'm thinking about money falling out the sky and landing in my path for me to walk over it, right, like how I was teaching you guys that spell, that ritual, walking down the street, rubbing money in your hands, thinking about that shit, because that thought is such a strong potential energy in that moment. It just might manifest, not even just as a fucking, action of you playing with money or visualizing the money. It'll come into an action as it actually, you coming across that money. When I say an action, I'm still talking about just the experience, right? Because that's what we are. We are just an experience. Okay. We bring it back down. Clear. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was saying about the clear smelling thing. Because, like, just how we'll smell a metal. Just because we're smelling metal, that might mean something specific, but then because we're smelling a specific metal, that also will be something specific as well. Just like when we hear fucking, like, I don't know if, them people who was playing that Roblox game that I posted on this page, right? I don't know if they still watch this video. And I don't know if you guys had this shit happen to you too, but this shows how bad I'd be obsessed over shit. Like, this is the reason why I had to take so many long ass breaks, bro, because when I be playing that game, I get so into that game. It's like every time I put the phone down, I still be hearing the swords slashing and shit, like unsheathing from its thing. And I be hearing shit like that, and then gunshots, little pops in the background, like just out in the distance. And then yeah, that's also like for clear hearing, and because that was probably my soul wanting to go play the game so bad that it was able to tap into the fact that there was people on the game for me to play with. So then it was just allowing me to hear when they were using certain weapons, because I was hearing teleportation and shit. Niggas was getting busy, bro. I was listening to y'all fight in the game, bro. This is how tapped in I am. Please tap in with me, bro. But I'd be like, man, I wonder what else, like, because it's not just with thoughts and sensing and shit like that. It's also your feelings. So, like, you can really pick up on someone else's feelings if they're thinking about you too heavily, or if you're thinking about them too heavily, that's also what the spiritual phone can do. You can contact other people, telepathy type shit, but you just have to learn how to use all these different forms of telepathy. Oh my god, no, that was nasty. Okay, that's fine. I stepped in something. And then yeah, seeing, it's like when you get flashes of images in front of your face. So like when I'm playing Minecraft, bro, I be getting strong ass images of like me just in the woods, or like sometimes I'll blink while I'm walking and turning my head type shit, and then while I'm blinking I'll have an image of me turning my head in the same way, but in the middle of the woods somewhere, like, or on a specific map that I like to play on. Bro, it gets so bad to the point where I remember I was high one time and I scared myself because I blinked, and then out the blue I was just swinging like in mid-air. I was like looking down at the same time too. So then I was looking down while in mid-air, and I was supposed to be swinging, like, playing using the Spider-Man mod or whatever. And then, like, oh my god, this shit scared the fuck out of me. I almost pissed myself. But yeah, it's just shit like that. Like, those are you. Like, sometimes this can just be you, your higher self, casting these images to your lower self. But because you are just awareness of all of these selves, you get caught up thinking that, you just thought this to yourself type of shit. Like, yeah. And your lower self does think too, but your lower self mainly thinks on instinct. Like with your body, and it picks up certain things like cravings and shit. That's why they say out of sight, out of mind. Bro, that shit be fucking real, bro. Oh my God. When I tap into whoever the fuck, my higher self is, he doesn't have a name. I don't think he has a name. That's why he's cool with the name Tayo. But yeah. Or he just hasn't remembered his name yet. But when he be looking at shit, bro, my lower self just like tells him to, it just be fighting with him to go grab and shit. And like, cause your higher self, they done tricked ourselves, right, into agreeing to their bullshit. So like, you have to agree to an emotion before you can feel it, and then animate as it, or like, animate for it, because these emotions have to become us for them to live. But we have to act for them and move for them type shit. And yeah, this is why your pool of emotions and your sacral chakra is supposed to be still like water, right? So then you can always be, how you doing, sir? So you always be in control of, that flow of energy, that energy in motion. Because yeah, your emotions can trigger your desires, and then your desires can fight with your higher self, because your higher self, like all your selves are just energies interacting with this physical vessel. Because your physical vessel is the only thing that's out here in this material realm. You and your energies are off, like in the astrals. But like I said, as soon as you leave the surface of the planet, right, you're in the astrals. It's just because we have this fucking weird ass atmosphere, right? The atmosphere is still down here on the surface, right? So because our atmosphere is all fucked up, it's not, we can't see that connection. And it's not even just because of that, it's because of the way they made us look at our atmosphere. I think that's not all for the clear senses. I feel like I could talk about more. Then again, I feel like I could talk for days, so I'm not going to, do that. Just go look into it so you can, like, learn, what's what. Because, like, how you doing? It's not what you think it is, right? Like I was telling you, spelling certain things or hearing certain things can mean, you're, get receiving signals in this way or that way, basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah, and because these senses are still, existent, but we're just not tapped into them, right? We're just not aware of them. This is how this is like another more spiritual warfare that they're using against us, basically. Damn, like even our fucking knowing, bro, even our inner knowing, they done got that fucked up too. Like, and this is why people have a hard time using discernment and using intuition and shit. But like, once you learn how to like really trust yourself and move from what you can truly see, instead of letting yourself think, that you're seeing this and that and shit, then you can start, becoming a true intuitive, is what they call these people with these spiritual phones. Burp. So yes, your lower self and your higher self, you're gonna want to learn to work with okay, so yeah, I'm not gonna go through all of that. You're gonna want to learn to work with all of yourselves, right? Like, because your inner child will save you from, I'll just say, dramatic situations in a lot of different ways. And yeah, and they keep you true to who the fuck you is type shit. Like, who wouldn't love that kind of a, that's the kind of energy Naruto was on. But then when he lost himself, at least his dad left him, you know, some good energy. Because all of this shit is symbology for what the fuck we deal with, and not all of it is literal. Sometimes it's just, you know, you just have to decode it the way that it fits for you. Because even though they're still, you know, exposing a lot of just truth and facts and shit, they're also exposing a lot of the bullshit that they done put us through, you know, within the spiritual warfare. Like I said, they be laughing in our faces. I'm not having it. But yeah, I like it was a good performance though, you know. They make our origin stories look so cool and shit, yeah. But I think I had enough of glorifying it, you know. Not had enough of it, you know, meaning that I'm tired of it. It's just doesn't interest me like it probably used to in my past lives. You know, I've done this so many times, and that's the reason why we be getting bored to certain things, right? Is that because we're starting to become depressed, or, you know, we're, you know, this or that. You know, it's just because our past lives have already experienced a lot of this shit in the past. And I'm so glad. Bro, like, I don't know who the fuck I am, but I just, like, have made my life align so perfectly. Like, in my past lives, I was probably, like, some kind of sex addict or some shit, you know? But basically, is what I'm saying is I got all that shit out my system, so now I can really focus on, you know, being the family guy that I want to be type shit. But yeah, it's just little shit like that we gotta look at. But also because of my, you know, adventures, I also build up a lot of bullshit bad karma for me to have to pay off, right, in this lifetime. But because I went through it, right, in the beginning of my life, this is how energy works. It goes back and forth. So that's why you gotta go through it now so you can ball to the end type shit. Shout out Real Chosen, because that shit was deep, you know. Yeah, you just, like, enough said. I basically explained what I was about to say. And then, yeah, that was so deep. You know, I would just move on because, like, enough said. I'm not going to keep ranting. You need to learn to attach and detach from certain things, like within your ego, right? Because we're dealing with the spiritual phone, right? And we need this spiritual phone and we're building this spiritual phone, right? So we're gonna have to attach to certain concepts, right? For all of the clears that I spoke of, the emotional, the knowing, the thinking, the hearing, all of that shit. And then we have to detach from certain concepts, right, that could be blocking us from, you know, bringing in this flow of energy. And then, yeah, be careful, because when you tap into this shit, you'll start reading others. But not only will you start reading others, you start reading the situation, like wherever you're walking in, it's gonna feel like a fucking movie, and you'll be like, this is another reason why people get paranoid when they take shrooms, because, like, they're sensitive to the fact that they have that outside viewing of themselves, so then they feel themselves watching themselves. Bruh, it was so funny when I it was so funny when I realized this, because I already knew that gangstalkers will use magic, right, to send spirits to come and watch you and shit like that. And then I was like, oh my God, I sensed something, you know, watching me. And then my inner knowing had already told me that it was myself, but I was still kind of doubting because, like, nah, bro, the way that thing is watching me, like, every time I get excited or do something, it gets excited too. And it's like, you know, I was just being dumb. I was like basically explaining to myself that, yes, that was me. But, you know, I was still in doubt because, like, you know, I want to make sure that I'm safe and that I'm not being stalked in this moment. But, like, it wasn't just that moment where I sat down, because it was everywhere I was walking around and going to and doing this and that. I just kept feeling the motherfuckers watching me. But then what it was is, because I had sat down, my energy was able to sit still enough for me to feel it a little more heavily. And that shit was annoying the fuck out of me, because who the fuck is you type shit. But then I was, you know, I was whispering to my angels in them. And I forgot what I was saying, but I was basically laughing and acting like, oh, and I was telling them, like, watch, I'm about to do something that's gonna make them feel some kind of way or some shit. And then I'm about to flick them off for, you know, be an asshole basically. But then right before, like right when I was turning around to do it, it was like I felt that they already knew what I was about to do, and I felt myself laughing at myself basically. It was like bro, it was a whole thing. But yeah, basically when you unlock your clairs, you can feel your presence and your height and your other, you know, presences type shit. Like this other one time when I was, you know, being promoted, I had to sit down. I had to sit down at my dining room table and wait for them to, you know, set shit up. I don't know what the fuck they were doing because I couldn't fully see them at the time, but I could feel them walking next to me and shit. And then like, because I was so tired, I don't know. These shrooms that I took were probably double dosed. You know, I only took 2 grams, and I had meditated pretty hard. I don't even like yes, deeply. I'd meditated really deeply, but it was within a short amount of time that this happened, so I just kept going type shit until I started seeing shit, you know. But it was cool because it was like, what I was seeing is that I was in this little box, and that little box was like my aura, and there was this dude or this big demon beast thing that had to sit down to get to my level and fit inside my box. And he was like, he had his forehead against mine, and we were like face to face type shit. This shit was so cool. You know, I felt like I had a buddy with me meditating. But yeah, also these angels and demons don't look like what you think they look like. Like, for me to see them, I have to face my fear of seeing spiders first type shit. Like specifically the spider eyes and its face and shit. Like, I have to pet the tarantula and everything. I need to deeply face that fear if I want to actually see them, because their forms be so wicked and uncomprehendable that it scares us. Like, they sent the right dude to come sit in my fucking face like that, you know, if that's the case, because if just anyone would have showed up, I probably would have had a heart attack type shit. But yeah. Oh right, but yeah, when I was being promoted, I felt them like basically, it was what I'm saying is that when you sit in deep meditation, right? And this meditation, like I told you, you have to cut off, because this doesn't happen when I go grounding outside, right? This only happens when I'm sitting in the bathroom in the dark at night for such a long time with my thoughts and my feelings, that I let that shit, you know, I absorb it to the point where I become it, and then I become that, my higher self, right? And then I'm able to tap into all of those sensories and shit. So you don't always have to alter your mind using weed or shrooms. And you should only be using those 2 things if you're gonna do some shit like that. And alcohol, I wouldn't use, that kind of mind altercation, right, to tap into this shit. I would use alcohol to help draw in spirits to help assist me with shit. Like, I have metal in my bone that they done, they did their thing to me. I'll say that they did their thing. That was a good move. But I could still, I could still mix my own alchemy type shit and call in my team in them to help get this bullshit out of me. And that's actually what I wrote down in my comics. In my comics, I wrote down that when I activated my powers, I was going to reach this point of regeneration where I would break my arm myself, pull the metal out, and pass out and let myself heal and then when I wake up, then I'll be fully healed and ready to go. But I fucked up because I didn't make it that easy for myself in the comics. Like, I wanted to add a little trauma to this situation just to make it funny, because that's the kind of person I am. I'm sorry, I'm dark. But yeah, he wakes up like while his arm is still healing, and then like he can feel the ligaments and how alive individually his cells are and how they're like pulling themselves together and shit. And then like he's just sitting there watching his arm looking like venom and pulling itself together. Yeah, and you feeling that and all that. Yeah, that to wake up to that shit, I would be big mad. Yeah, I would be mad because now I have to carry that trauma for I don't know how long, right? Until it either builds me or breaks me, type shit. But yeah, I want to go back to reading others, because you can start to sense their intent, right? And you can also see their inner knowing, right? It'll be sitting on them. But then when you see their thoughts form, you can see it in the way that they're moving. And they have to move a certain way just to let these energies flow into them. So that, and basically what I'm trying to say is you can see what people are thinking and you can see how their thoughts form, right? Like, you can see what they were going to think about, basically. Not what they were going to say, what they were going to think about, and how they corrected that thought to reform it into the dialogue that they're about to give to you. And then, like, in this moment that they're about to speak, you can see how the thought, like, comes together, because you can see within them, they have this reassurance of, that's what I'm gonna say, type shit. And then, yeah, within that moment, you see that they're about to start speaking. And then sometimes you can catch them and say what's on their mind, and it fucks with them heavily. And yes, like I said, shrooms would probably be the best thing to do this if you're going to use some kind of mind-altering thing, substance. But I was able to do this just off weed. So it's like, yeah, even though they GMO'd all our shit to fuck with us, we can still tap in with this shit. And I need to really say that so that you're not abusing this shit and just thinking it's cool and it's something that we can do on occasion. No, because it's still fucking us up. But we can still use it to our advantage, And then reading the room, right? Reading the situation or whatever reality you're walking with and into. So it's like because your aura, right? You walk with your own world, basically. And because you have the aura of the planet and the different energy fields that these bitches done placed on our planet to fuck with us, and then you have the energies and the aura fields of other people, right? And basically all of these energies is what's trying to manifest the reality. Not all of them though, because the energy fields that they placed here they still need our energy. They placed them here to manipulate and bend our energy type shit. Yeah, like I'm walking past a solar panel right now. Like, what for? It better be for this person's house, because like I would definitely do the same thing. But oh my god, and I gotta walk over this metal thingy thing. Yeah, what is going on over here? All it's really doing is just producing fucking negative frequencies, because they know that they can have that place somewhere else and have the fucking energy cabled over here, but they don't do that. They do this shit on purpose. Yes, reading the room, you're gonna see how how your own aura is alive, right? Is basically what I'm gonna say. How everybody's situation, including them, is alive and conscious in their own ways, and it gets deep. It gets deeper. Just listen, watch this. So because you walk into an area, right? You walk into a room, and I know you've heard how, like, because some people have already been in there, you can still feel their energies in there, right? But you can also feel the energies and the entities of the room itself. Like, the walls are alive type shit. And like, just like how the plants are alive, and people ignore that shit too. Yes, this metal fence is alive, and it's picking up, right? Because I told you, everything is God. Everything is consciousness. Everything is energy that can receive and hold these other energies that walk past it and give out the energies to it, right? But then when it was created, right? This is why I say it gets deep. When it was created out of certain materials that kill us, yes, right? That drain our energy. And it was built into a certain geometric form that, again, encases and drains our energy, yes. But it was also created with the consciousness to want this as well. To want to, you know, I can't really say do complete malicious shit to us, but just do these little things to us that is malicious. Yeah. It's like these rooms are energy vampires type shit. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say, right? Because everywhere you go, right, it's, you know, alive. Even the situation that people try to bring you in is a situation that's just gonna sit there and test you and play with you both to see what it can, like, that's how these other entities and energies form and shit, because we don't know better. We don't know not to invoke them in this way by performing this kind of ritual with each other. That's why people say, like, I'm not really here for the small talk. I'm just, you know, trying to be real, or just trying to do some certain thing, right? Because, like, even if it's not, like, okay, I'm not even just talking about business, right? Meaning I'm not just talking about, oh, I'm not here for small talk, I'm only here for business. Like, even between friends, they don't like the small talk and all that, you know, extra quote-unquote fake shit, because it's just a play, you know? And yes, it is a play that we have been taught to perform, right? When they were telling lies to our vision through movies and other shit, to program us, right? Predictive programming. So then we end up invoking certain spirits, and then we end up thinking that we wanted to do this as well. So my ex is still in my ass because she still thinks that her will is her own. But no, she's just spiritually weak. Apologies. But yeah, that's why they say, like, don't let your things become you, because we are receivers. This is how our spiritual phone works. And because of the other ways that we work, like how I said, you have to agree to your emotions and shit, and then you become them. Yeah, you also become all this other bullshit too. So also look out for that, because these black mirrors, right, on our phones and screens and shit, and other pieces of technology that are constructed with all these other spirits and shit, they are going to draw us in to fucking ourselves up by interacting with them in unhealthy ways. So when I say your will is not always your own, that's not me making an excuse for you to, be on fuck shit or to allow your fuck shit to, continue to manifest in your life. It's just me letting you know not to, feel too negatively towards it and letting it down you and kill you or become you or take control of your life. And yes, that's all I've got to say. So, peace reflections. Till the next video. Love y'all.